Hey YouTube, Tactical Timmy here. I wanted to talk about constitutional silver and some of the pros and cons of it and what my take is on constitutional silver. This is going to step on a lot of toes because I unfortunately am not a huge constitutional silver stacker. I know that kind of goes against the grain in the silver community, but I'll talk about some of the reasons why. I wanted to talk about some of the pros first off, though. So before we get to some of the cons and why I'm not a big constitutional silver, let's talk about those pros and why so many people are so fond of constitutional or US government minted silver from the past. Probably the easiest thing is look at the divisibility. You have so many different sizes of constitutional silver, and it really is amazing to see the changes of things over time and see how silver has changed over the years, because it truly is an amazing thing to see how divisible silver is, and that's a main benefit of constitutional silver. Additionally, it's super easy to recognize, hey, anything before 1964 is in fact going to be constitutional silver, and it's going to have a silver content. So that's another great thing, is that recognizability. Another thing, it's minted by the federal government, therefore it's protected. If it is in fact copied or counterfeit at any time, it is going to be a felony. That discourages a lot of people from trying to copy constitutional silver. The other thing is you can go down to, I don't have any before you, but we have dimes where you can go down and buy dimes for as cheap as like $5. You can walk in with a $5 bill sometimes and walk out with a piece of silver. So that low entry point makes it really easy for people to get started in stacking. I think that that is a fantastic benefit of constitutional silver, is that low entry point. Now, it also gives us a ton of variety. We talked about dimes, we've got half dollars, we've got the full dollars. There's a lot of different places that you can go with your constitutional silver. It's got lots of sizes, lots of different things, and that variety will keep things new and keep you from getting bored in your silver stacking. And I think that that's something that's really important when we have this, like, whether you call it a hobby side of the investing community. But it's important not to get bored and not to, fall into a rut where you're no longer getting excited about your silver and not getting excited about your gold purchases, because, that is the benefit of this style of investment vehicle, is that not only can you make money with it, but you also can enjoy the hobby of it. So let's transition over and talk about some of these cons and some of the reasons why I don't like constitutional silver as much as I do stacking what you see on the left here, these silver eagles, and stacking them up. So why am I so pro silver eagle and anti constitutional silver? Well, I think probably the main thing is probably the size. I mean, when you start stacking peace dollars and you start stacking Franklin halves, and you have all of this constitutional silver, it does take up more space. I know you can put them in the tubes, and that's one way to kind of limit the space, but it still adds up comparatively to our silver eagles shown over on the left. The silver eagles simply are going to take up less space than this constitutional silver. And a lot of that is kind of offset by, constitutional silver does have that divisibility. So what else do I not like about constitutional silver? Well, we already kind of talked about it's not quite as concentrated of wealth, and it's certainly not as concentrated of wealth as when we compare it to gold and stacking gold, because gold also is going to have a much higher concentrated wealth. And I know there is pre-33 gold out there that you can buy, and frankly, I haven't gotten into that. I've stuck with my gold as eagles, and I have a few other collections that I'm going to stick with for a while. But it's just not as concentrated in terms of our constitutional silver. So that's another reason why I haven't gotten into stacking constitutional silver quite as much. Another thing that premiums have come up. Unfortunately, it used to be you could go out and always buy constitutional silver at spot price, but the premiums have risen over the years, and I think that because they're not making any more of this stuff, they're not making any more peace dollars, right? They're not going to have any more of these peace dollars be minted. So unfortunately, the price is going to go up. It's only going to go up from here because they're not making any more of them. So with that, I think that it's only gonna, as we go on into the future, I think constitutional silver will, become less and less popular because, some of it does unfortunately get melted down every now and then. And it's just not going to hold the value that it once did, especially as these coins become more and more worn and more worn out, I should say. So I think that, the last thing that makes me less excited about constitutional silver is the fact that you have this, vast variety of coins. And I think that to me, it is overwhelming. It's like, where do I even start? Do I start with Franklin halves? Do I start with, peace dollars? Do I start with mercury dimes? Where do I even begin? Because there is so much variety. I think it's hard for me to narrow down on what exactly I want to, whether it's collect or what I want to invest in, and what are people actually going to want in the future. Whereas it's pretty well determined that the silver eagle is going to be what's going to be valued at some point in the future, because it holds that ounce of silver. It's easily recognizable. It has a lot of the same advantages that we talked about with our constitutional silver, but it's a nicer form factor that is still minted today. I can go out and buy, I know this is a type 1, these are the older style of eagles, but you can buy the new eagles as well. That is where I would end the video, because I unfortunately just haven't been bitten by the constitutional silver bug. I know that there's a lot of people out there who love it, and maybe y'all will change my mind in the future. I would love to hear your perspectives on constitutional silver and why that you might love constitutional silver. I'm not completely turned off to the idea of stacking constitutional silver in the future, and I'm sure there are certain, specific collections that are tied into my family that I will end up stacking again in the future and build those collections again to build back some things that we've lost. But I'm not necessarily jumping on board. I have different series like the lunar series that I am really excited about, and I don't need to find that variety in constitutional silver. So I can find that variety other places in my silver stacking journey, and that's okay. That's the benefit of our silver stacking community, is that lots of different people will like different things. Some people are really like constitutional silver. Some people are, eagles or bust. Some people hate silver and only will stack gold. And some people just like the flashy, we'll view this Perth Mint Lunar Series goat here at the end of the video, because that's what they enjoy, and everyone can find their niche and their thing that they really enjoy, and that's what we love about this community. If you like this video, if you found value in this video, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Take care.